Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Make It With Me Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. If you were with us yesterday for Super Stamping Sunday, I want to thank you again for joining us for a very fun several hours of presentations and projects. I hope you liked everything you got to make with us and all the great samples you got to see. Remember, that page is open on Facebook forever, so we're never going to take it down. So if you missed anything, you need to go back and review anything, please check that out. So again, anyone who was joining us yesterday for Super Stamping Sunday, thank you so much again for doing that. We really love putting that presentation on for you guys, and we hope you really enjoyed it. So let's see. Looks like I've got at least one person that tells me I'm going live. Yay. Okay. All right. So just a couple of housekeeping reminders. Remember, sale-a-bration is going on through the end of February. I checked yesterday, and everything is still orderable and available in sale-a-bration, so that's always good to hear. We like to know that you guys can still get all the goodies that you're looking for. But in these last few weeks, I would definitely check and make sure you've gotten what you need, and don't hesitate to get those orders through just in case things start running low. There are not going to be any reprints or reproductions of any of that, so you're going to want to get those before they're gone because those are limited edition and exclusive just for sale-a-bration, so don't miss out. And remember that there were some other items added recently that are in the regular annual catalog. All of that I checked again yesterday. All of it's still available. One item at the $100 level. The rest is at the $50 level. So if there's anything in here that, or if you've already gotten everything you want to out of here, there's a chance to pick up some other great things. And one of them that I really like is this Enjoy the Journey Designer Series paper from the new mini catalog. Hey Tina, good to see you tonight. Glad you could hop on. Yay! I'm going to point out one of the things that I'm going to be using on a couple projects tonight. And this is in the sale-a-bration catalog at the $100 level. It's this really great pack of 12 by 12 DSP. You get 48 sheets, guys. 48 sheets. Oh my gosh. And there's 4 pages of each design, 12 different designs. There's some really yummy colors in here. So you get, let's see, Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. Like, oh my gosh, there's got to be something you guys can be making with these colors, let me tell you. So they're all just patterns, stripes and zigzags and polka dots and plaids, and they're just absolutely amazing. Really pretty, kind of like springtime colors a little bit, but then I also I see these a lot for birthday and like things that you really want to celebrate with lots of color and fun. So all these great patterns, again, like stripes and plaids and checks through this whole color palette. These ones with the stars on them I think are super cute. I'm just going through a couple pages at a time so that I can show you guys all the sides. So stars, again, plaids and squares. This one has flowers all over it. This one's really kind of a fun plaid pattern. It's got some extra detailing in that plaid, more checks. Then there's some more polka dots and some stars. And then I'm going to bring this one up closer. Hopefully you can see it. There's little tiny, no, maybe not. Yeah, there you can kind of sort of, little tiny hexagons that are back to back or all over repeated patterns. So kind of like honeycomb hexagons happening there. And that side again, this one's really pretty. Lots of really fun, pretty flowers there. All right, so that is one I highly recommend snatching up if you have anything that you can grab at that $100 level. So remember that you just need a $100 order. That is before taxes and shipping, and you can select that item out of the sale-a-bration, yeah, sale-a-bration catalog for free. All right, so tonight I'm going to be coordinating that with my on-camera stamp set tonight is called Best Day. It's on page 67 of the mini catalog. I'm going to be working with that birthday cake tonight. I know, Tina, that paper is so yummy. All those colors. I'm like, I pulled them out. I bit the bullet and I opened it up. I tend to be a paper hoarder and I just want to like look at it and think it's so pretty, but I've used it several times over the last couple of days on projects and I'm just like, yep, that's going to disappear quick now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So tonight you wanted to have a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's your card base. So there's going to be a different fold for your card tonight, which you might have already figured out. So this is So Saffron. That's what I'm going to be using tonight. You needed a piece of neutral cardstock that is 4 1/2 by 4 3/4, and then you scored it in half at 2 1/4. Okay, so half being the 4 1/2 side. Hopefully that made sense as I wrote that out that way. And then a piece of designer series paper that's 2.5 by 3 3/4. And so again, mine is going to come from that Dandy Designs, which is in the Sale-a-bration catalog. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Grab that neutral piece, and you're going to want to go ahead and fold that in half. Now, as you might be able to tell, then that is where the fold and the imagery and the sentiments are all going to come from for our card tonight. So it's going to be just this little skinny guy that's going to open like this on your card base, okay? Hey, Kathy Joe, good to see you tonight. Thank you for popping in and joining me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and decorate that up here with, like I said, I'm using my cake image from Best Day. Okay, and hold that down there. And I've already gotten my finger stuck in my ink pad. You can tell right there. So I'm going to go, and I want that to now be the back side. There we go. Now there won't be a black spot on that one. Caught that before I stamped, so yay. All right, gonna put my cake image in here. And the plate itself is a little bit wider, but that's not gonna bother me. I knew that going into this, but I wanted to use this image because it's gonna be big and bold and take up a bunch of my card front. Hi, Mary Lynn, good to see you tonight. So glad you could join me. All right, I'm gonna use some of my blends tonight to color that up a little bit. So I've got some Highland Heather, and I've got my light, I should say, pumpkin pie. There's no, this has Mango Melody and So Saffron in it. And the light pumpkin pie blend tends to, let's literally blend into that color palette really nicely. Since there are no mango blends anymore, I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to go through a couple of these guys here, dip it around. So you guys go ahead and decorate up the front of your card however you see that you want to have it done. Boop, boop. Okay. I'm not going to do all of it. I'm going to leave some white space, but I am going to color my happy with some of my Highland Heather. I like the fact that these are big spaces. I can just nicely slip my little blend in there. That colors up really nice and easy. And then the yellow I have here is So Saffron, just like my cardstock base. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in the polka dots really quick with that. And I'm going to add a little of that saffron right to the top. Okay, so like I said, I am leaving a little white space on my cake. But I'm going to grab this Heather one and add these polka dots. So I have just a little bit of that kind of a purple and yellow and what would you call mango? Orangish yellow, I guess, color palette going on here. All right, and I'm going to take, here it is again, my light So Saffron. No, I'm just going to use my little light, my darker one. And I want to highlight the word birthday with my saffron blend as well. Okay. And I used my dark one before, so now I'm going to use the light and finish in adding the purple accent into the happy. Okay, so there is my decorated cake, and I'm going to add to it a stamp that says wishing you all the wishes. And I just realized I left my ink pad over on the other side of the table, because of course I always do that at least once when we're going on camera. All right, so there it is. All right, so hopefully this is giving you guys lots of time to get your card front done. And I need a black. Okay. You know, I always swear, guys, I'm prepared and ready. And then there's something that turns up partially throughout what I'm doing. Okay. So I've got my wishing you all the wishes. I'm going to grab my Highland Heather ink pad. And I'm going to add that to the top. All right. So wishing you all the wishes. Happy birthday. Okay. So my card front is done. Or was technically going to become your card, or my card front, I should say. All right. So now you have your piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you have your piece of designer series paper. Now grab your adhesive of choice. Again, at any point, if you decide you want to use dimensionals and pop any of these guys up, please do so. So I'm going to add my pieces to the back. We're going to put this about halfway down with a border on each side, just like so. And then you're going to grab this piece that you've now stamped and colored or whatever you were doing. I'm just going to reinforce my fold since I've had it opened up again. And I'm going to put adhesive just on the back side. Now again, if you wanted to at this point, you could pop this piece up. However you guys want to do that. And then that's going to lay in the middle, like so. Whoops, it got stuck down to that part. And there you go. That is the basic layout for your card tonight, guys. Super quick, super simple. If you've got like tall, skinny stamps, this works really, really nicely for some of those. Little short phrases, all that great stuff. And just enough room to leave a little message inside, okay? And yes, I know blends leak through. So if that's something that you maybe don't like to see, you could add another panel. You could have stamped that on another panel and put it on top. I'm cool with sending that through just the way that is. All right, so there is that. So let me go ahead. Let me turn it a little bit so you can still see. There you go, because it doesn't want to stay closed. So I'm going to let you still see the layout and all that good stuff. So again, that was the Best Day stamp set. This has become one through mine. Used a couple of times because I have a little kiddo. Well, not a little kiddo. He's practically almost 16, if you can believe that. But he is the cat lover in our household. So he immediately saw that one and said, Mom, you got to get that because there's a cat in a cupcake. So, dude, got to have that one. And I said, okay. All right, let me go through and show you some other samples. Now, the first one I did using the Lucky Clover. And I did actually fussy cut that clover out just to show you it's really simple to do. I know the punch is no longer available, but that shape is really easy to follow. It's a nice big shape. It's not super tiny, not a lot of fussy cutting involved there. So I know that unfortunately that punch is gone, but that stamp set's still really, really good and easy to use still, even if you don't have a punch to be able to do that particular shamrock with. So I added some shamrocks in the background. Again, I've got a piece of that designer series paper from Dandy Designs. And then there's a phrase that says, a good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. So that's one that I did with that same layout. Okay. Here's one using a different part of the designer series papers that are in the sale-a-bration catalog. This is the Dainty Flowers designer series paper. And what I did, instead of actually stamping and creating a whole focal image for my front, I cut a piece of the designer series paper to fit that 2 1/4 inch width. And then I used a different piece from the collection for the back. So lots of the wildflowers going on. The only thing I stamped for this part, guys, was the phrase, they'll celebrate you. Everything else is done with the designer series paper. I love letting those beautiful papers do all the work for you. So that one's really, really fun. I've added some garden green twine. I added a little dragonfly trinket. I wanted to point these out in the catalog because they are really hard to see and you might actually overlook them without even realizing, because honestly I saw them on a project somewhere and even I went, wait a minute, where are those? So page 19, along with this stamp set here, there they are, hiding up in the corner. Honestly, I would have totally overlooked them, but they are super cute. They're silver and they're flat on the back, so you could just attach with a glue dot. But how cool is that? Little metallic shine. Right, Kathy Jo, I'm telling you, paper, when it's as pretty as this, it's like, oh my gosh, it does all the work for you, and you feel like this amazing artist. I tip my hat to all the artists at Stampin' Up! The fact they've had, when they make things like this, they actually hand paint all of those images, and then take photos and print from there, etc. And they're just, those artists are amazing, stunning and amazing. Although I'll shout out to my cousin Kathy Jo there. She is an amazing artist all on her own as well. So you could probably create something very much like that. But the paper's already done. It's easy to use. All right. Here's one using Easter Bunny. I do know the punch went on back order for a little while, but they tell us it's coming back. So yay. Fingers crossed that we're going to see that one again. I used a different image from there and fussy cut him, and I added the Easter eggs. This is from the Country Gingham designer series paper on page 9 of the mini catalog. This is mint macron, and I did actually add some texture to my card base with the gingham embossing folder to go along with my gingham here. I have this was white twine. I colored it with my mint macron blend, And I left the inside blank for now because I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him yet. But these Easter eggs are super cute, super fun to color. They were together as a set of 3. I just cut one off and then just made a little stack down there. So the little grass imagery comes with him in that stamp set. There's 3 different bunnies. He's totally, totally cute. All right, and now we're going to hope that my husband isn't watching right now because I'm going to show you his Valentine that he gets tomorrow. So I made this one for him. This is using the Country Bouquet and then the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. I used cane weave embossing folder here on that Sweet Sorbet layer, and then I have Sweet Sorbet in black as my color palette, just basic. I wanted to point out on this one and on this one, I added a layer of cardstock to the back of my folded pattern, just my folded portion, I should say, to make that stand out a little bit. And on this case too, then I added another one to the back side of that, and I added a layer to my card base. So this one is a lot of dimension, a lot of stackability to it, because I've also popped it up on dimensionals. There we go, pop that part up on dimensionals. My heart is on dimensionals. What did I else say? I did it on this one as well. Because I had the twine going back here, I added this layer with dimensionals so that it would lift off a little easier. And then I have my double oval punch, which I've used for that phrase as well. I think that's all the little accessory portions of everything. Let me go ahead and bring him back in. We'll swap that out. And I'll show you a little bit of a stepped up version. So what I did here, I took another panel of So Saffron, cut a little bit shorter, so that's a 4 by 5 1/4. And I added an embossing folder to it. Now there's a pack of embossing folders. You get 2 to the pack, and it's called Let's Celebrate. It's in the annual catalog. Thanks, Kathy Joe. I thought that one was really sweet, and I hope he likes it too. One has phrases for birthdays, and one has, it's all written in different languages. So there's let's see, okay, let's comfort up. Anyway, different languages of how to say different happy birthday in different languages are all over this particular one. And then the other one is all about celebrating. And they only cover, it's a 3-inch wide one, so it only covers a portion of that background. So you can see I added that right down there. I added a couple of black matte dots. Again, I added a layer behind that panel. So I added a black cardstock there. And instead of just stamping directly, I stamped on a piece of Whisper White and then also did a double oval similar to this one. So I used my double oval punch to get my phrase, and then the larger size scallopy one to mount it. And then my inside has a little bit of decoration as well. So it's the best day because it's your birthday, and I added some confetti stamping, which is all in that best day stamp set. All right, so I think that was all the highlights of the stepped up version. Like I said, this one goes together really super quick and super easy. I'm going to show you my inspiration piece. I received this as a swap from Ann Hubner. Now this again is a sale-a-bration stamp set. The carrots are in there, and I think it's almost like one of the first pages. Let me just double check. I always get the name of this one wrong. Thanks a bunch. You would think that would be pretty easy to remember. Thanks a bunch. It's on page 5. So you get the carrots. And if you've been paying attention to any other, like, you know, Pinterest and other things, whatever, the carrots have actually been turned into so many different things, like turned upside down. They make a tree line, various different things. So even if I looked at that and I went, oh, I don't want carrots, they're way more than carrots, guys. It's crazy what people can visualize when they're playing with all this fun stuff. I want to point out what she used here for her layer and for her folded portion. It's actually a die from the deckled rectangles. So you can see that deckling edge. And so she just die cut that and folded it in half. And I took it under similar to have you guys just cut that particular panel. And then there's another deckled one cut here. And then she just used a straight edge to cut that a little bit narrower. So that was kind of a fun detail. A bunch of linen thread there to add the finishing touch to her Thanks a Bunch card. All right, so on that note, thanks a bunch for joining me tonight, guys. Really appreciate everybody who tunes in every Monday, and everyone else who watches on a replay. And you guys have hopefully enjoyed all of this wonderful card making with me for now 103 episodes, if you can believe that. That to me is absolutely crazy. That it's been that many weeks so far. Like, it's been really, really, really fun doing this with you guys. I am going to be out of town next Monday, but I will pre-record and pre-post and all that good stuff so that you will not miss a Monday. It just won't be live, but we'll still make our stuff, so to speak, next Monday night. And then I will join you again live 2 weeks from then. I think that wraps everything up. I don't see any more questions or anything. Awesome. I will post all the pictures, and all the details will be on what stamp sets I use, et cetera, will all be in the descriptions of those photos. So look for that on the Facebook page in just a while. Hope you guys have a great couple of weeks. I'll see you live again in 2 weeks. And of course, next week, Monday, tune in at 6:30, and you'll have the link to the YouTube video to make the card along with me that I've pre-taped. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great week. Take